What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas from Wrestling with Rumors, and I just want to touch on a few things that was WWE Evolution. So let me just start off by saying there is a reason why WWE has the best women's roster, from Raw to SmackDown to NXT, and we saw it here on Evolution. That was from start to finish an incredible show, an awesome show. There were so many matches. There. I'm sorry. I'm still getting over how great this show was. So let me start like this. There were quite a few show-stealing matches. Let me go through it. The triple threat for the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. That was definitely a show-stealing match. The Battle Royal was absolutely a show-stealing match. Whew. The Jade Cargill versus Naomi No Holds Barred was 100% a show-stealing match, and the main event for the Women's World Championship was 100 a show-stealing match, even before what happened at the end when Naomi cashed in. Now, everything that I was predicting about Naomi with that Money in the Bank was going to happen at SummerSlam is out the window. This is why we can speculate as wildly as we want, because we never know. We must expect the unexpected, and I was looking at one thing that could possibly happen that could continue the rivalry of Jade Cargill and Naomi, but Naomi cashing in, Naomi losing in that no-holds-barred match with Jade Cargill really puts a stamp, a finish on Jade Cargill and Naomi for now, because later on in the night, in the main event, as Io Sky and Rhea Ripley were tearing the house down, and give it up to Jessica Carr, who took a bump with that drop kick from Io Sky, was laid out for a while as Io Sky and Rhea Ripley go all up through the crowd and just tearing it down. Great match. At the last possible second, where no one saw this coming, I don't think anyone saw this coming, Naomi cashes in and becomes the Women's World Champion. And what is the second heist in WWE? Give it the first heist to Seth Rollins. This is the second heist by Naomi, and stealing this match from Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Naomi is the new World Heavyweight Champion, which now puts her on Monday Night Raw. Incredible. The landscape going into SummerSlam, which is in 3 weeks, has drastically changed by Naomi cashing in. I really feel like the drastic change would have happened at Saturday night's main event if Seth Rollins did not hurt his knee. But I've already talked about that. We're on Evolution. And what a show. The Battle Royal, in which Stephanie McCur wins the Battle Royal, has herself a Women's World Championship match, either WWE Championship match or Women's World Championship match. And I think it's going to be a Women's World Championship match. And depending on who Naomi will now face at SummerSlam, and I really feel like going into SummerSlam, it's going to be a triple threat. It's going to be Rhea Ripley. It's going to be Io Sky. It's going to be Naomi. It's going to be a triple threat at SummerSlam. I feel like that's where it's going to go, but we'll start getting the ball rolling on how this is going to play out for Naomi as world champion beginning on Raw. Now, I do feel like, as incredible this show was from start to finish, I really feel like that a rematch for the Women's United States Championship match could have happened at Evolution. But based on how things played out in the Battle Royal and how Zelina Vega was focused, there was no games, there was no smiles. She was all business, and she went right after Julia the second the bell rang. Yeah, I feel like that gets the ball rolling on what could be a rematch at SummerSlam for the United States Women's Championship. Now, before I go, if I had I have to say that Evolution within WWE's weekend stole the weekend. If you look at it as far as the 3 shows that we had for WWE and Atlanta's Takeover, it's Evolution first, then NXT, Great American Bash, and then Saturday night's main event. And another thing I will say is that Blake Monroe turning heel, you know, was I knew it was coming because on my show, Wrestling with Rumors, I read a rumor about this. I talked a little about this, about Blake Monroe making that heel turn, but I didn't expect it to happen as soon as it did. Expect the unexpected, and it happened. So, yeah, wow. JC Jane retains her NXT Women's Championship. The summer of JC Jane continues. It's a summer of JC Jane, that is for sure. I would say by NXT Heatwave, we could be looking at Blake Monroe in a NXT Women's Championship match, possibly. We'll see how that goes. But one other thing that I will say is that when you look at the entire weekend that was a pro wrestling weekend, it's been a great weekend. I would say if I have to rate it from 1 to 4, 8, go All In Texas, takes number 1. Number 2, Evolution. Number 3, NXT's Great American Bash. Number 4, Saturday night's main event. That's how I put it. Mostly because of how last 40 minutes or so kind of carried on. But overall, yeah, great night. Evolution, great night. You want to know why? If you ever have to ask yourself why people in WWE, why people who are fans of pro wrestling are saying that WWE has the best women's roster, look no further than Evolution. Evolution, this is the second PLE for Evolution that they've done. And this is one of those rare occasions where the sequel was much better than the first one. I've said a lot. I could keep talking about it, but I'm going to keep it where it is. Y'all take care of yourselves, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Also, new episode of Wrestling with Rumors is now on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and check it out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will definitely see you on the next one, y'all. Peace, y'all.